It is time to jump into the leadoff, and we're going to start with the 2023 MLB season. You'll notice that the graphic has a balance on it because what they were going for with this schedule and the changes, the significant changes that were made to it, was a little bit more of balance. So let's talk about this schedule that dropped. Well, in this new 2023 schedule, there's going to be less division games, less intra-league games, so American League versus American League, National League versus National League, but there's going to be more interleague play. So to break that down a little bit, division games, there were 76 division games that teams would play. Very heavily dependent and really kind of hurt wildcard teams, specifically from like the AL East division, right? Like the Rays and the Orioles this year in a very deep AL East are fighting for, that wild card spot with a lot of heavily influenced division games. So they're removing 24 of them, right? They're taking it down to 52 games within the division for teams. So initial thought for this, right? The divisions are good to have, most of them regionally, situated. But it gets old seeing the Cleveland Guardians 19 times a year, seeing the Minnesota Twins 19 times a year. Like, it's good that there's going to be a little bit more diversity. There's also going to be more diversity, but as far as American League teams go, because now they're going to be playing only 64 games, which is a 2-game decrease from 66. They'll have 32 home and away games. So 32 home, 32 away between teams of their own league. And then also you have more interleague play. 46 interleague games are going to be played next season for each team, which is 26 more than they play now. And it's going to, as Will Like from the MLB.com wrote, every 2 years, your team will play in every ballpark. So it's good because it allows for a more diverse playing field. You have the opportunity to see more stars of the game facing off against other stars of the game, right? They were touting a Trout versus Harper series that's going to happen around Memorial Day next year, I think. Vlad Guerrero versus Soto. Paul Goldschmidt against Shohei Ohtani. So there's going to be a lot more diversification when it comes to the schedule and the teams that are on the schedule, which is an exciting thing for baseball. You want to be able to see those best stars. So I actually I asked the question, do we like this? I do. I like the fact that the Tigers are going to see, teams that they wouldn't normally see except for on like a multi-year rotation basis. This is actually pretty good. So here's a few more nuts and bolts things, right? March 30th is going to be opening day. All 30 teams will be opening on March 30th. It's the first time that every team will play, barring weather, of course, on opening day since 1968, which is significant. The Tigers, hopefully will have shaken off what was 2022's just complete disaster, and will kick off on March 30th ready to go, ready to get a 2023 under a good momentum. Get started off on the right foot. That's the hope when you get into this situation, when you're looking forward to a new season. The Tigers will open the season on March 30th at Tampa Bay. Then they'll travel to Houston, and then the home opener will be that next Thursday It's the first week of April, the first Thursday of April, against the Boston Red Sox. And hopefully by that time there's a lot better feelings about the 2023 season when it comes to the Detroit Tigers than what we have actually experienced this season. Now, again, this is a schedule release that came out on Wednesday. It's something that I think, especially for us here in Detroit, it gives us that glimmer of hope, right? And listen, we can talk about the team and how bad the roster is. We don't know who the next GM is. We don't know what the free agent signings are going to be, but we do know what the schedule is going to be next year. And we're going to get to see a diversity of teams, which is nice. I'm looking, Pittsburgh's on the schedule as they always are. It also looks like the Braves are on the schedule, which we haven't, seen them. I'm trying to look for some other. The Reds, we play the Reds, the Yankees clearly because they're intra-league, I should say. But yeah, so I think the most exciting thing is the Braves that are going to be on the schedule next year. Angels, the Dodgers are on. That's going to be good to see those, what should be much better teams. Get the opportunity to see them. It also looks like the Milwaukee Brewers are on the schedule, and so it's going to be good for Tigers fans. And hopefully, as I continue to say, hopefully going to be something that we're like, it's 2023. That's a good season for us. This is a season that gives us, a little bit of hope. Now, do I think that it's going to be much different than this year? Probably not, but that's a conversation for the off season. And let's talk about the off season. We will have the corner during the off season once a week. So make sure that you're tuning in because we're going to talk about the moves that are being made. We'll obviously be on when they hire a new GM and when they make, those free agent choices that they make and deals that they make. We'll be live or available to discuss those moves with you because as far as I'm concerned, baseball is a year-round sport, and it's going to be something that is hopeful. That's going to be my word when we talk about 2023, as we were hopeful for 2022. And we can be hopeful until they give us reason not to be hopeful, as was the case in 2022. So this schedule release, it produces hope. And with the changes that were made, I think they're good changes. Again, going back to the division thing, I think it's, absurd to play 4 different teams 19 times. That's crazy. So lowering that to 52 games, getting more diversity with National League teams, it used to be such a big deal, right? Because you had interleague play where you would have to hit your pitchers if you were an American League team, and now with the universal DH, you're seeing more of a one league. And I know the baseball purists will kind of freak out a little bit, but this really is just Major League Baseball split up into 2 different sections. It's the same game. There's no different strategy between the junior circuit and the senior circuit. It is just the game of baseball with the universal DH, and so every team's going to get to play every team every 2 years. That's fantastic. And I put Rob Manfred on blast quite often. As often as I'm given opportunity, actually, I should say. But you got to tip the cap, right? Like, this is a good move. Some of the moves we may not like, right? The extra runner and extra innings we might not like. The potential for a pitch clock coming up we might not like. The potential for robotic umpires, which I'm actually a fan of given the atrocities that happen so often, it seems. We may not like. But this is a good change. So we'll give credit where credit is due. That is the new schedule for 2023. And that's the leadoff.